What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know by now, I go by the name of Lady Q because I'm a lady and you can call me Q. By the name of the title, you already know what we're going to be discussing today. But if you're new to this channel and you don't know, in September, I launched my very own clothing boutique, MSDQ. You can find her at shopmsdq.com. I launched her in September. So March 1st made 6 months. So I thought this would be a good time for me to come to you guys and let you guys know 5 things that I wish that I knew before I opened my boutique. I wish that if I knew these 5 things, I would have went about it a little bit differently. It's all a learning and growing process. So, I have no regrets. Everything is a lesson learned. And I know a lot of boutique owners do these little videos, but I think the ones that I have, except for maybe one of the 5, is something that is very different than most boutique owners will tell you. So if you're interested in the 5 things that I wish that I knew before I started my boutique, keep on watching. Remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe if you like videos like this. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Lady Q because I'm your little big sis and we need to keep in touch. Without further ado, let's hop into this video. So I have my notebook here because I wrote the 5 different things and I put a little bit of notes so that I can just stay on track because sometimes I'm all over the place. So I created my LLC back in January, but we didn't actually start getting inventory, I want to say, till April. And then after April, we were still, nervous. And I guess I can add this on to the 5. So it'll be like a little bonus one. And it's simply just don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Just do it. If you want to do something, don't allow yourself to psych yourself out. You have to just step out. You have to step out on faith. And you have to do the work. And if you don't do that, it's going to hold you back. The more you think about it, the more that you don't do it, it's going to hold you back. So when you have an idea, I'm not saying just run with it. Have a plan, but don't stop yourself. Just get into it. And I promise you, you'll feel much better about just doing it than waiting and waiting and waiting. Because that will really have you sitting there like, should I even do this? Don't do what I did. We started the LLC in January. We didn't launch until September. And by the time September came, the products that we had ordered were more so for summertime. And summer is kind of fading out come September. All the hot parties happen before then. So we had a lot of barbecue bash kind of pieces, brunch pieces for the summer, boat rides and things like that. We noticed 2 of our pieces didn't do very well because of the time period we released them. So that is one of my bonus tips. Don't wait. If you have something that you want to do, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are about this entrepreneurial life, just do it. Don't sit there and psych yourself out. Just do it. So Shop MSDQ is a women's boutique. We are dedicated to the women on the go. It is fast fashion, but we have quality clothing. The difference about us is that we provide only quality clothing so that you are able to have multiple wears in multiple ways. We specialize in providing you guys statement basics that are pieces that can either be basic, average jeans, your tops, your neutrals, very minimal, or they can be statements because you can either pair them with something else or on its own, it's just a statement piece. So that is who MSDQ is. And it's when you subscribe to MSDQ, you're not only subscribing to a fashion boutique, you're also subscribing to a sisterhood because sisterhood, uplifting women, and just having a family unit is very important to us at MSDQ. So that is what makes us different than a lot of other boutiques. We focus on uplifting. So a lot of the things that we send out once you do purchase an order, we're giving you little quotes to keep you uplifted, to remind you that you are important, you are a star, and things like that. So yeah, that's who MSDQ is. But let me get into these 5 things. So the first thing is, it's not just about pretty pictures. And I thought, how you sit there and you're looking at pictures and you're like, oh, that's cute. I think I want that. No, there is a whole customer experience that you have to keep in mind. You have to make sure that the time that they see it to the time that they buy, you're constantly on their mind. Rule of thumb is a customer has to see something at least 7 times to purchase that item. So you have to create content. You have to get them to subscribe. You have to do multiple things to get those pieces or to just get your boutique in front of that person multiple times before they even consider shopping with you. That's a big one. So it is not just about the pretty pictures and the content. When you're making content, you have to make content that viewed by the people you want to buy it. So, for example, MSDQ is for the women on the go whose lifestyle can quickly change from the day to day, right? So I have to have content that reflects her lifestyle changing quickly. So like her going to her car because she's on her way to work, her leaving her car because she has a meeting, her going to dinner, her getting ready to go pick up her children, her getting ready to go to the gym. I have to be able to show one of those pieces in multiple ways to see that be able to transition from event to event, if that makes sense. So it's not like you have to think about stuff. It's not just like, oh, this is a pretty place with flowers, let me just take this picture right here and boom. Like, yeah, people are going to like the picture, but that's not going to get you a sale. Like, you have to target the people that you want to buy. So if your pieces are for women on the go, you have to make them see how this piece can benefit them. What is it doing for them? So yeah, that is the first thing. It's not just about pretty pictures and about content. You have to work for those customers. You have to go out and find those customers. So the second thing that I want to talk about is a big one. And I haven't heard too many people talk about this. I mean, maybe, but you guys let me know. So the second thing is that your friends and family that support you at first will not regard you as their regular places of business. So like the places that they usually would go to shop, they're going to expect something different from you because they're familiar with you. So for example, your family and friends will come to you and ask you for discounts. Your family and friends will sit there and ask you, can I just like avoid shipping and the extra fees that it takes to, they will expect kind of like freebies. They will expect to be able to return something to you after they've worn it multiple times, regardless of what your policy is. And I think it's more so because they're familiar, because I can't imagine that if you're a customer, you go on the website and look at their return policy, and if you see that you took so long to report something, you're not really going to try to return that item. You're not going to go to like Old Navy or the Gap and be like, hey, in the little chat box, like, hey, can I have a discount? Like, you're not doing things like that. So I feel like family and friends seem to think that like, because you have a business now, they can ask you for discounts, they can ask you to extend different policies, and it's just like, you have to set your boundaries and let them know like, hey, like, this is a legitimate business as well, so treat me accordingly. Don't do that. I'm trying to make my coins just like your big favorite brand is, so don't do that. Stop asking for discounts. You'll get a discount the same way all customers will get a discount. You don't get like a special family discount. Yes, MSDQ is about family, but don't sit there and keep asking for a discount or think you're just gonna get free clothes because you're family. No. The third one is, we have the Erica lapel blazer, and we also had this piece. This is the all-around girl. So when we originally came out, we had the all-around girl in blue that sold out very, very quickly. And then so many people were writing to me saying, mind you, people who did not buy the blue one, oh, when are you getting another one? And I wish I would have looked at the site beforehand, because I did find out there's a way to see who is looking at what. I wish I would have did that, because I would have known whether they had actually went on the site and if they were actually interested in it, or they were just making conversation. So I say all of this to say that just because someone tells you they're going to support you or they're going to buy an item, it doesn't mean that they are going to. So don't sit there and decide to purchase inventory just because someone told you, oh yeah, I like that, I think I want that. Don't do that. You go according to what you feel your customers, like your actual customers, need. Like, people who say they're going to buy it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to buy it. So the Erica blazer originally came in green. We ended up getting a beige tone, like a more neutral beige tone. And those did not sell as quickly as the green blazer did. And we bought that blazer again simply because so many people kept asking about it. Like, oh, do you have this in other colors? And they didn't get it. So don't get yourself hyped and buy inventory based on people just selling you a dream. What I would say to combat that is, when you are purchasing pieces that you know people want and need, buy them in multiple colors, because if you get them in multiple colors, they have options, rather than buy something, it sells out, they see it and they're like, oh, I want it. You have to wait get that new inventory in a new color. You may not get the color that you originally had, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I found something else. Like, don't do that. Just because someone asks about a product doesn't mean that they're going to buy it. I think both of us got so hung up on the fact, like, when someone asks about something or they slid in our DMs and they were like curious about a certain item, we're like, oh, that's the one. No, it's not. That might not be the one. Just because they're telling you they like it doesn't make them a potential customer. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Number 4 is do not buy products just because you love it. Just because you love it doesn't mean that other people are going to love it. You have to get to know who your customers are, what they need, what is going to benefit them. So just because you see a piece and you're like, oh my God, that's cute, I would wear it, I know how to style it, doesn't mean that's necessarily what they're going to wear. And I say this to say you end up losing a lot of money because of that. So, like, for example, I'm putting y'all on to tea. So we bought two pieces in particular. We absolutely love those pieces, but when I think on it now, it was not really functional. So it was 2 pieces. It was the Vixen dress, this all black mini dress, and the show out play suit. The thing that I find with those 2 pieces is that they are a lot. Like, they are a lot and they are really, really cute. I find that those 2 pieces are more for a certain kind of lifestyle. Like, they're not transitioning pieces or anything like that. They are for, like, the city girl. We thought those pieces were so cute. I don't think we fully thought about, we didn't think of how to market it in a way that the customer needs it. Like, you need this dress. Why? If you're going to just pick pieces that you like, you have to be able to market it appropriately. Like, know how you're going to get that piece to sell. How you're going to do that is by knowing what is special about that product, why the customer needs that product, what kind of benefit your customer is going to get from purchasing that product. Or don't just get it because you like it. Get it because you know customers are going to like it. Get it because you know that there's someone who needs that item. And you know that from research, and you know that from stalking your customers. I know it sounds crazy, but stalk your customers. See what's in fashion. See what people are looking at, the colors, the style, things like that. Like, you have to know what your ideal customer is looking at. When they say the customer is right, I finally understand it. Know what that customer wants and get it. You're not going to buy anything that you wouldn't wear, but don't buy something specifically because you like it. That's a big, I know I said 5, but this is an honorable mention. I feel like I've learned so much in this 6 months, but this one is important. Stop comparing yourself to other boutiques for multiple reasons. I'm gonna tell you one of them. So the first reason why you should not compare yourself to multiple boutiques is, here's the thing. By the time those boutiques become these big names, they're no longer a small business. You perhaps don't know where they started at. You don't know what it took them to get to where they are now. You don't know their story behind everything. You didn't get to watch them from when they started at 0. You don't know the backstory. So when you're comparing yourself to them, you're always going to feel like you're not doing enough. You're always going to look like for like, comment for comment, sale for sale. You cannot do that. Your boutique, your business is your own personal thing. You can do market research. You look at these other boutiques, these other businesses to see what it is that they're doing, what works for them, what isn't working for them, how you can be different. You can do that. But do not compare as far as success, because you really don't know exactly how that business is doing. And if you're comparing yourself to like them bigger brands like the Fashion Novas, the Sheins, and things like that, you're always going to lose. At this point, you're always going to lose. You are a small business. You never know where they started out at. So don't do that. Secondly, the reason why you don't want to compare is because it is going to stunt your growth. It's going to discourage you from continuously doing the next thing that I'm going to tell you, and that is being consistent. So if you're constantly beating yourself up like, hey, they get this many likes, they get this much engagement, they get this much this and that and this and that, you're always going to look at yourself as less than. You have to have the mentality of an entrepreneur. You have to have the mentality of a go-getter, of a hustler. You can't sit there and be like, oh, they're doing so well, like what about me? No. If you're going to do that, use that as motivation to do better. Use that as motivation to be like, okay, they did it. Why can't I? As simple as that. You cannot compare yourself, because every time you compare yourself, it's like putting yourself one step lower, one step lower. And we don't do that. They may have had the tools that they needed to get to where they needed to get, but you don't know where they started from. They may have started in the same shoe that you're starting, but you don't know that because you only know that when they became big. This is all a learning process. This is all a journey. If you're constantly trying to compare yourself and copy off of somebody else, you're never going to find the thing that makes you, whatever makes you pop compared to the other businesses. Like the market, they say, is saturated, but the reason why there's so many boutiques, there's so many different businesses doing the same thing, is because they had that certain thing that made them different from the rest. And you just have to find that thing that works. Go to number 5, my last tip. And this is like so cliche, but when I tell you this makes all the difference, be consistent. Consistency will save your business. When I tell you, there were times that I wanted to give up. It's only been 6 months, but this has been one hell of a ride. Like, it is not easy. You have to consistently post. And I'm talking 1, 2, 3 times a day, especially when you're new. And I'm 6 months in, and I can tell you that you have to consistently post every single day. Anyone who tells you you don't have to do that, they're lying to you. Especially if you don't have a big fan base in the beginning. Like if you're just starting out, say from 0, you have to post every single day. When people talk about target audience, for me, that was like the hardest thing, because it's like I'm starting from 0. I don't know who my target audience is. And maybe it was just the way that I was understanding it. I didn't know who my target audience was because I had 0. But how can you know something that you don't have? You know what I'm saying? So for me, posting consistently was helped us to get people to the Instagram page, get people to the subscriber email. I remember when we first started out, we had like 14 followers for like months. So we opened the Shop MSDQ Instagram way before we actually launched. We had 14 followers for so long. Now we have 200 organically. More awareness is coming to MSDQ, and I love that for us. But consistency is a real thing. Like if you don't post, you don't exist. And don't just be consistent on like social media. You have to be consistent on all of your platforms. So if you have a subscriber list, you have to be consistent there too. Make sure you're sending out emails to let them know like, hey, remember me? On all of your platforms, try to be consistent, even if it's just one a day. Show yourself, show your product, let them see what you're doing. Something as simple as, packaging orders or your new inventory. And when you're not getting orders, or if you're not getting new inventory, just showing the pieces that you already have, or just showing them like your values, like the things that make you different, understanding what issues they may have with their own fashion style and things like that. Like, get them engaged in talking, get them engaged with your brand, period. You have to be consistent. I promise you. Like, I know you always hear that. Be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. That is your best friend. Consistency is your best friend at this point. To be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to manage your time and to be consistent. If you listen to nothing else from this video, listen to being consistent. Going forward, I'm definitely going to keep all 5 of these things in mind so that we are better equipped to execute the mission of the boutique. I still have no regrets. I'm so thankful for all of the support that I've received up until this point, and I know it's only going to get bigger and better. We have so many ideas, so much is in store for MSDQ, and I thank you guys for supporting me along the way. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any tips that you can give me for Shop MSDQ, definitely leave it in the comment section below. If you agree with any of the things that I say, leave that in the comment section below too. This video was not just for people who own clothing boutiques. This could be for any entrepreneur. If you're looking into entrepreneurship, this video can help each and every one of you. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure you turn on your post notification bell so that you never miss when I make a new upload. And I will see you in my next one. Until then, peace.